Morning, it's Melinda with Boss Mare Shearing. It's been a minute since I did an update, and that's because we had some really big life changes. One of my best friends, the boy I called my brother, Drew Manco, passed away almost 3 weeks ago, and it has really caused an upheaval not only in my community but in my personal life. He was a really good guy. He did a ton of stuff for the community. He is the sole reason for running of the Wolves. He was in the Rotary. He was in the Historical Society. I mean, he was a Mason. He was everywhere all the time. It really hit our community pretty hard, and me personally hard, because him and his mother Amy are the reasons I do what I do. If it hadn't been for their knowledge and their drive to help me start shearing, and constantly making fun of me because I didn't have sheep, and teaching me how to knit and everything, I wouldn't be sitting here giving you guys an update on a fiber festival I attended on the other side of the country. So it's been a long 3 weeks. I now take care of close to 120 some sheep over at his farm, plus mine. So I used to joke that now I'm a shepherd, but now I really am a shepherd. So there will be more updates as we figure things out more. At this time, there are absolutely no plans to sell the farm, the equipment, or the sheep. So Ross Farms is still going to try and provide everybody the heritage breed fibers that they have known to come and love. So bear with us while we try and figure out this next steps in our journey. But this past weekend, to try and help Amy heal and to help all of us heal, we traveled to Dixon, California. I'm going to post a picture of me and her on the first plane. She was doing some cross stitch. I was working on socks. Kuya also did her first plane ride. She did absolutely amazing. No sedation, no anything. We just plopped her on a plane, and she decided it was boring and slept the whole time. So I think I have a video of her like snoozing on the plane. But so Amy taught 3 out of the 4 days of the festival and judged one of the days. So I ran around like a nutball with her, and the ADD was strong this weekend. I'm also wearing my Lambtown shirt. Flock around and find out. This is going to become my new favorite shirt, not gonna lie. Clemis and Clemis are on the board for this show. They make drum carding equipment and fiber processing equipment. And the difference of going to a festival and going to a festival that is run by teachers and vendors of other fiber shows is outstanding. All the things that, vendors and teachers nitpick about, they've taken into consideration, and it's fabulous. And they have a great team, and all the volunteers, really hats off to them for putting on an amazing show. If you ever get a chance to go to Lambtown, it's held in October. 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay, can't give them enough props for everything that they do for this weekend. It's absolutely amazing. So Amy did a sheep and wool school long wool intensive where they went through 14 different long wool breeds. And I'm not gonna lie, I ADD'd because I've sat through that class quite a few times. So I went and volunteered. They said they needed help, so I just went over and said, what do you need me to do? So I help make name badges and, swag bags for 2 or 3 hours, because I've already sat through the long wool class and there's not much new information Amy can tell me. And then that was Thursday. Friday we did the rare breeds, and that's 24 rare breeds that she introduced to a group of 15. And then Saturday she judged the wool show. I'll put some clippets at the end because I did like the whole first division, which was all the registered animals. So if you've never been to a fleece judging, it's a little bit different than like the sheep show. Producers bring in and submit a fleece from an animal, and we go through and we nitpick about it. There's a bunch of different categories like luster and crimp and strength, and Amy literally touched over 100 fleeces from like, I think she started at like 8:30, we ended about 2:30, and we took like 2 15-minute breaks. So she goes through, we go through, and she places 1 through 3, and then the top ones come back. There were some of the most beautiful fleeces I have ever seen. The crimp, the lock structure. I was drooling a little bit because, first and foremost, I am a fiber nerd. That's what Amy's created in me, is I care about fiber and how to help the producer, get more out of their sheep by showing them other avenues other than nobody wants this wool, here's the meat. So that's kind of my shtick, is trying to help the producers. Like, even when I'm shearing, I'm like, don't throw it away. If you don't want it, I'll take it and sell it. Like, I'll give you X amount of money for it because I'm going to make X amount of money from it. And that really opens their eyes a lot. So, and then Sunday of the show, she did 2 separate classes of fiber processing for funsies. Where it is, I like how she does it because she talks a little bit, asks people like what they want out of the class, and then the first stop is the sheep barn. So we go and look at sheep on the hoof. Now, I was in California, and I was also in Dixon, California. And if anybody knows anything about Dixon, California, that's really close to UC Davis. And the professors at UC Davis are the ones who created my absolute favorite breed on the face of this planet, and the breed I own and raise, California Reds. So when one of the girls told me while we were doing the fleece judging that there was in fact a California Red over in the breed barn on Saturday, I left my phone propped up against something to keep videoing the show and ran. Well, I didn't run. I briskly walked to the sheep barn because I needed to meet an actual California Red from California. And I even made friends with her. Look at how cute she is. Not gonna lie, their fiber is a little bit different than mine, but mine have been coming from a breeder who was breeding for fleeces. So fleece structure was a little different than them, but it was really cute. I also made friends with people who have Leicester long wools out on the West Coast, which is a rarity because long wools and dry hot don't mix very well. But they also show on the East Coast. They go to Maryland. So my great conundrum of finding a California Red Ram that isn't closely related to mine and from the West Coast has now become a reality. Made friends with them, exchanged information with them, and if I'm able to source a ram before Maryland next year, they're willing to haul it over for me. So that was one checkbox. The other checkbox was I got to just run around like a nutball at a fiber festival. But that was a big check box for me, was trying to find and source more genetics for my sheep and how to get it over there. And I did both. So I also, when I was meeting these Cali Reds that were over in the breed barn, I met Mrs. Silk, and I talked to her. She's super excited that, you know, I'm on the East Coast. I came all the way over here. When I would say I was from Pittsburgh, there's also Pittsburgh, California. And I was like, no, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Like, I'm from Steel City. Like, and people were like, what are you doing over here? And I'm like, I just follow Amy around. But I was talking to Mrs. Silk about my sheep and the fact that I'm a shearer. Her husband's also a shearer. And they also raise Cali Reds and Shetlands. And we were talking, and the name didn't register for me because, you know, I was in Cali Red mode. She's the president of the California Red Breeders Association. So, whoops. But made friends with her, and I brought home some roving from her sheep and another skein of California Red yarn. I think I'm going to make a cabled hat out of that for me to wear this winter. But the other cool thing, I don't know if you can see my hat. It's a cool little sign that says Milk Farm. So if you didn't know my background, I grew up milking dairy cows with my Uncle Bill. I did that all through middle school and high school until we ended up selling the herd when I was a sophomore. I still have friends that do dairy. That's where my background came from, was dairy cows and horses. So this giant 40s-ish sign is just chilling on the side of the highway, and it just says Milk Farm Restaurant. And I looked at Amy, and she goes, "Oh, that's a big landmark around here." And I'm like, okay, I need some more information about that. So it's actually a historical landmark. It's taken care of by the Dixon County Historical Society, and the sign was built in like the early 1960s, and it's from a restaurant. So a long time ago, Dixon actually used to be huge in dairy, and a gentleman made a restaurant called the Milk Farm, and he used to have like 10-cent milks and pony rides for kids, and eventually, you know, the restaurant got to be like a big part of the community, so he had this giant sign made. It's a neon sign. I have a picture of it. It's a shitty picture because we were like driving down the highway. And it's an old neon sign, and the cow's tail used to flick back and forth. It closed a year before I was born, so in 1986, it received a whole lot of storm damage and actually had the roof ripped off. Again, I'm trying to drink my coffee, and I am so jet lagged today. It's not even funny. Also, one of my coworkers found this for me. Isn't that cute? It says, "I love you." Thanks, Cass. This is still my favorite mug. And it's big. Like, I can put a good bit of coffee in there. But, so in 1986, it closed due to storm damage. And the sign still stands, obviously. But the property itself is kind of in limbo. It looks like, from what history I can gather from it, from, you know, Wikipedia and Google, in 2022, the Milk Farm Development Incorporated bought it, and their plans are to make build a new restaurant and maybe like a service plaza. But, you know, in California, everything has a lot of red tape. They really like their red tape, but they do not like to paint their roads. Has anybody been to California? If you have, drop some comments. Is it common for everywhere, or was it just weird to like that Sacramento area where there are no road lines? Like, there's just, here we tar and chip roads. So they spray tar down and they put pea gravel down on it, and, you know, we drive and we pack it back down. So it's kind of like asphalt, but like the cheap generic version of asphalt. And it sucks. It'll chew up your tires. Makes the road almost like ice for a couple weeks until it gets packed down and like the loose stuff kind of falls off to the shoulder. But when they do that, they put these weird little tabby things. They put like a scooch of tar on, and they stick this little tag. So it's a little reflector tag, so you still know where the middle of the road is. That's all they have in California. There are no lane markings, there are no arrows, there are no nothing. There are just these weird little reflective tabs everywhere. I couldn't tell you how many times me and Amy like, are we even in the right lane? Is this a lane? Is this the berm? What is this? I just wanted to know if that was like common in California, because like I remember when we visited San Francisco eons ago, there were road paintings. Like, is that new? Why? Like, just paint the road. Put some reflective paint down. It's fine. Save yourself. But, Dixon, California is absolutely beautiful. The Vaca Mountains are, like, right there. We had a gorgeous view from our hotel room. I'm gonna post the little video up here. That's beautiful. Now, I'm used to green and trees and hills, but the southwest, well, this was the northwest, like the mountains and everything, that was just beautiful for me. This was so pretty. My other favorite thing, it's a lot funner at the big shows, and especially when we park in the vendor area, because it's all vendors are all parked there, and that's where I got the idea for my my vanity plate, which says U-Haul. So it's really common for a vendor to, get a vanity plate. Absolute top 3 are BAH, so BAAAAH. There's another one that says 3 bags full, and then ICEWE, ICU. Those are my top 3. Absolute. I saw most of them at Rhinebeck, but the other ones I saw not at Michigan. Where else did we go? Shenandoah Valley was where that kind of started for me. Favorite one that I saw this week? I Spin. And she even had like a little toy spinning wheel on her dash. So I'm assuming it's a her. Could be a he. They had a spinning wheel on their dash. So it was so much fun. I got to watch the Cali Reds show for Champion Yearling U. I got to meet some merino breeders, a lot of merino breeders while I was out there. I got to put my hands on a couple merinos. I really enjoy their fleece, but their marketing campaign is much similar to Certified Angus. And there's more to life than the merinos. Like, if you haven't caught on, like, I will still knit with merino. Like, my socks and stuff are normally, don't persecute me. They are normally superwash merino with some nylon in them. And that's because I have teenagers and a husband, and I don't always do all of the laundry. So socks and stuff need to be able to go through the washer and dryer without dying and felting. I have made some socks. Like, I made that really cute white and purple sheep doodle sock. I still need to make the second one of that. Out of non-superwash Cheviot and Cotswold lace. So, I mean, don't persecute me, but there's a time and a place for superwash, and that's when you have teenagers and wear wool socks a lot and make a lot of socks, and you don't want them to come back out to fit your dog after the kids help do laundry. But the other big thing, and this is my PSA for this coming weekend, is October 11th and 12th is the first inaugural Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool. This is a big deal. Pennsylvania itself has never had a sheep and wool festival. They want to grow it to compete with like Maryland and New York. So they want to make kind of like the New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland area the place to go for fiber festivals. And my Yesnesia got to me. It was started off, it was supposed to be a small festival. One of my clients, Flower Hill Fleeces, was going to help put on a small fiber festival, and it quickly snowballed into now the Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool Festival. And you know, I'll do anything I can to help educate people on sheep and wool. Okay, that is my new life goal. My other life goal is, did you guys know that the Cali Red used to be on the Livestock Conservancy? It is no longer listed on the Livestock Conservancy. Right now I am struggle busing. This is a complete ADD tangent, but we're gonna talk about it. So when I purchased Cypress at Maryland Sheep and Wool, I was told he was registered, or that I could get his registry papers. It was very much a whirlwind. I might have misunderstood. But after purchasing him, bringing him home, I found out that his mother is registered, his father is purebred, but Cypress himself does not have registration papers. So I reached out to the Cali Reds. I'm like, I know his mom, I know his dad, I know what farms they come from. I have his birth date and everything. Is there any way we can get him papers? Because right now the Cali Reds are doing a breed up program, which means you can cross your Cali Reds with a Tunis, you can cross your Cali Reds with a Barbados Black Belly, and still be able to register the offspring. You can also do a 50-50 cross, so you can breed a Black Belly and a Tunis together and get an F1 Cali Red. It's not going to be real nice like some of the further out bred Cali Reds, because, you know, Barbados are hair sheep. But I digress. That was my little tangent. I'm coming back to my point. But when I contacted the Cali Red Association in May, when I purchased my sheep, their server had crashed and they lost everything. The website was down. They lost registration records. They were scrambling. So I was just like, I can wait. So I have since received my ewes registration papers, and I was like, oh, she must be up and running again. So let me reach out. So the registrar is fantastic. Sometimes it pays off to be working with a smaller breed. It's a little bit more personable. I can tell you right now, I have no idea anybody in the office on the board of the American Quarter Horse Association, and that's because they process close to 1 million records a day. Well, not a day, a year. So smaller breed equals more personable stuff. But I'm going to loop back to why I said that they're not on the Livestock Conservancy list anymore. I asked her while I was on the phone with her, the registrar, and I was just like, hey, since you've already processed all the records for this year, what's population? Because last I knew, it was around 700 registered stock in the United States. And she sighed and she goes, well, I haven't sent out deceased, reconciliation yet. So normally she'll send a breeder a list of all the animals they have and say, do you still have these? Are any of these deceased? They email or send it back, and she updates the population census. And she goes, I haven't done that yet, but we're only at about a 500, maybe 550. And my brain just stopped. Do you know how many Shetlands there are? Do you know how many long wools there are? There's more of those than there are Cali Reds. Why aren't they on the list? So by the end of the year, I promise you, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and I'm going to get them back on the list. And in the shave them to save them category. I promise you that. I am very determined and very stubborn. So hopefully by the end of next year, the Cali Reds will be on the shave them to save them passport and on the list. I hope. And it's raining. I'm not going to complain. We need the rain, but I have work to do after this. But, okay. Back to ADD land. Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool. I tangented and I don't remember where I was. Okay, Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool. I have yesnesia. If you guys haven't caught on, if it's for something I'm passionate about, I will say yes. Sure, yeah, I can do that. So Jody wanted to do this wee little fiber festival, and it has since snowballed into a state sheep and wool festival. I was originally on the board for this. I stepped off the board when Dwayne got put on dialysis. I couldn't justify putting that much time into something knowing I had this much stuff going on in my home life. So I stepped back. That did not stop me from saying, yeah, I'll do that. Sure, I can do that. So I was originally just supposed to do shearing demonstrations. And shearing demonstrations have turned into a seminar, taking the Cali Red girls to the breed pavilion. So they'll be on breed display. They'll be in the breed parade as well. And then Dan Turner, who is the president of the Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool Growers Association, sent me an email and said, hey, I know you're bringing your girls, and I don't know if you have time for this or not, but entries are really low for the sheep show since it's a first-time festival. Would you be interested in showing any of your girls just to give us a little boost in numbers? And I'm like, I don't know nothing about showing sheep. I was honest. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, oh, but it's a small class and everybody will be there to help you and we'll get through it. And I'm like, He's like, and because you're a member of the Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool Growers, you get a discount on entry fees. And I'm like, So, Pepper, Joy, and I will be stepping into the show ring also this coming weekend. So, I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. I mean, I watched a little bit of the sheep show at Lambtown, and I showed horses. It'll translate. I think it'll translate. It'll be fine. But, so the rundown is Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool Growers Association Pennsylvania Sheep and Wool Festival is this weekend, October 11th and 12th. I'm doing shearing demonstrations both days from 2:30 to 3:30. I have no idea what kind of sheep I'm shearing. I was promised sheep. I'll shear whatever they bring me, I guess. I'm also doing a seminar on my wild, wonderful wool. So it's going to be a condensed version of the talk I did earlier this year at the Knit Pit Yarn Club. We're going to talk about breeds and the difference between fibers and all of the weird products some of these producers can try and strive for instead of just get the fleece out of here. So that's going to help. The show is Saturday. It starts at 10. No idea when the Callies are going up. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm supposed to go wash a sheep this afternoon. It's raining, but I have to go wash 2 of my girls. I've never washed a sheep before. I was told to just hit it with some ivory soap and rinse it out and blow dry it a little bit. It'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, awesome. I have to pick a couple burrs out. But that's my plans for the day. So the sheep show is Saturday at 10. The breed parade, if you want to come and see all of the sheep all in a row, is going to be Sunday at 11. There's over 40 vendors there. So I'm in Washington, PA, and I think it said it was going to take me like 2 hours to get there. It's at the Dayton Fairgrounds up north of like Katanning and stuff. Like I'm going up 28. I don't know where you guys are coming from. But I would really appreciate if you guys wanted to come out. This is probably the last shearing demo for me for the year. Actually, I know it is. I only have a couple fall shearings to do yet, and then I am done. I'm on winter break. But come say hi. Dwayne's going to be sitting at the breed table for me. I'm bringing my fiber floozy totes, the pepper pouches. I'm going to have Boss Mare stickers. I also have those Boss Mare stitch markers that will be for sale. Any little bit helps right now because I've just absorbed, like another 130 sheep. So any little bit helps me keep the farms going. So, but I'm going to put some clippies at the end of the fiber show and the sheep show and some more pictures of the Cali Reds and stuff. So enjoy my nonsense at the end. I am going to go put my boots on and check on my sheepies and then head over to the Ross farm to work on stuff. So I really hope I see you guys this weekend and flock around and find out. See you guys.